I ain't care about the game. I ain't care about the catch. I ain't care about the Super Bowl MVP. Somebody remember who I was from that moment on.
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Christian Kuntz Pod. I'm here with my boys Vinny and Trey. Season 1, episode 14. Today we have a very special guest, a Pittsburgh Steelers legend, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, Santonio Holmes.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. MVP. I never really imagined myself having, I'm not going to lie, Santonio Holmes, a Super Bowl MVP in here as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So it's kind of crazy. I appreciate you coming in today, Tone.
That's what's up, man. I'm still a fan of Pittsburgh, so hey, thank you for having me on.
Hell yeah. We hit a yoga event. Tone taught a yoga class last night. I slept like a baby.
Hey,
yes.
I'm telling you guys, man, if y'all haven't tried it, if y'all haven't got into it, man, it's really the way to go. If you want to work on your body, you want to work on your mind, you want to work on your spirit, all that has to do with just controlling your breathing, man.
Yes.
And it's dealing with yoga.
I like that.
When did you get into that?
I probably got into yoga probably in 2012, but I didn't hit really into it serious until probably the last 2 years.
Really?
And I've been having a lot of issues with my neck, my back, my shoulders, just not feeling good when I wake up in the morning. So I was like, you know what, I need to learn. I got to start practicing something. And I didn't want to hit the weights. I didn't really want to get bigger. I didn't want to get swole. I didn't want to really lift to get stronger. I need all that. I'm like, man, something's just not right. Like, I need something.
Yeah.
And I got an invite to come to a yoga class on a cruise about 2 years ago. And just so happened now today that became my instructor to this day, who is the person that's actually, helped me lead that class that, Christian came to. And man, it's been a tremendous thing that has changed my outlook on how I can transform my own body, with just controlling my breathing.
I'm not gonna lie. I do feel better. We hit the yoga last night, and obviously I don't do yoga on the regular. I need to start, but I do feel better. Like I felt better last night. We had a nice little flow.
What was like your biggest takeaway from it?
Just the breathe. Like they made it a point when he was teaching the class to like really focus on your breathing. And like sometimes you're in those poses and you're like, I'll catch myself like you're almost holding I'm like, I'm like holding your breath because it's hard to hold some of those poses. But I tried really to like really breathe in and out during the whole session, and I felt better.
Have you ever did hot yoga?
Oh, yeah, I did hot yoga before.
So what's the hardest pose for y'all right now? Because I have my pose stuck in my head because I've done yoga before and it whooped my butt. So I want to know, what's the hardest pose for y'all?
We did one yesterday. We were on one leg, downward dog. We were like turning around. I was like,
this is the one I was talking about. That shit is so hard. I'm like, how the hell do I?
For me right now, working on getting in this crow pose and like holding it for a period of time. It's where you literally are on your hands and your knees are on your elbows.
Ooh. Wait, hold on. Let me
Hold on.
Oh, okay. So you're fully supporting your weight on your hands.
On your hands.
I feel like I used to do that as a kid. I feel like if I tried that now.
You break in half.
Yeah, I didn't know that I was doing yoga as a kid.
Break in half.
No, I think I can still do it. We'll do it after this. I'm going to do it.
All right, go ahead and try. Break your face. Tell me how it goes.
Tell me how much.
I would say the hardest pose for me right now would definitely have to be the lotus pose.
Which one's that?
Which one's
the lotus pose is where you are fully engaged with having both your feet on top of both laps.
Oh, no, I can't do it. My knees are bad.
Oh, what
it ain't
the
gonna work, bro.
My hips are like not going to let that go.
My knees are bad. I got 3D surgeries.
I got literally broke in half trying to do that pose. Literally. I quit the yoga session for about 3 weeks and I wouldn't come back because I couldn't walk.
Just mad.
Dude, no, I was hurt. I was broke, like literally broke. Okay. Literally broke, bro. I couldn't walk. I couldn't play golf. I was so mad at my instructor, dude. So bad. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's another thing I need to bring up. He's an avid golfer. And this man, we played our first round together. We were in Punta Cana. Man, we get out there, me and Presley, we're hitting it around. Presley hit about 3 balls backwards. I'm hitting 5 balls out of bounds. This dude gets up, stripes it right down the middle. I'm like,
he's been at it for a while, right?
He's been at it.
So
he's an avid golfer.
For a while?
Practice, man. Practice. Dude, I can't say it enough that the only way I learned how to pick up that skill set was to take what I learned as a professional athlete and utilize it to the best of my ability. So I'm being a professional at whatever it is that I'm doing. I know how to operate within my means of learning what it is that I'm doing. So in order for me to get better at golf, I had to start writing down the 136 score on the scorecard. I still have some of those at home.
Wow.
And guys will look at me like, dude, why would you keep all of those numbers? Why wouldn't you just shave off those points? I said, no, because I'm not going to get better if I shave them off.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
But I'm going to work at it and I'm going to get them off.
He's a sick competitor.
Yeah.
In the last
He's just
7
sick about it.
In the last 7 years, I've shot in the 70s twice.
Wow, dude.
That's crazy.
How long ago was the 130s?
The 130s definitely was probably like 2014.
Dude, that's not that long
That's
ago.
not that long
at
ago.
all.
10 years and now you're in the 70s?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Especially for a lot of people, like when you start golf later in life, it's even harder because you've learned bad mechanics in baseball and like you've been playing sports your whole life and then that translates over where, you know, it's hard to kind of start later. A lot of the people that learn golf early are the ones that, you know.
I stay away from golf.
Bro, I was shooting 130s in 2014 too. I'm in like the 125s now.
I'm still shooting in the 130s.
Now, like Trey said, though, man, is watching film. And see, people don't realize how important it is to watch film. But knowing what you're watching when you watch film is what you're going to get out of it. See, some people watch film to listen to the commentators. You know what I mean?
I don't got time
you
for
see,
that.
when I watch games and when I watch TV, there's no sound on when I'm watching football.
Can't.
Because there's no sound on when I'm playing football. The only thing I know is the sound that's going through my head, which is how I'm going to get open, which is how I'm going to be in the position to catch a pass. So when I'm thinking about how to play the game of golf, it's all about what I need to know how to do. I need to learn how to watch film and see these pros hit golf balls. I need to study their little mechanics, listen in to what these commentators are saying.
Right.
Because see, now I'm looking at golf differently because I'm listening to the commentator talk about this individual swing or where he found the sweet spot, why he's always hitting straight shots, how good his putting strokes are. I'm trying to implement all of that into my game every time I listen to it. So it's about how you study and what you actually watching TV to get out of it.
That's crazy because I ain't going to lie to you. I tried to do something like that, pop my rib out.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, it's wild. I ain't going to lie to you. It's wild.
You should be doing more yoga, bro.
Hey,
Maybe you wouldn't pop your rib
Listen,
out.
I was
Bro,
so
you're an
mad.
athlete, bro. How you going to talk about
Hold on. Nah, because they don't understand. It took you 10 years to get to where you at, all right? I did this in 2 days. And I figured out, like, I thought, because, you know, athlete, I pick up any ball.
Right.
I've done really well picking up any ball. This is one sport you ain't just picking up. Like, you got to
without a
really
doubt.
work. Like, work. So I thought, right, put your hips into it. All power. It's no power. It's all technique. So me trying to do too much power, my hip went this way.
Oh, man.
My rib went that way.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
said, yeah, you know what? I am getting older than I expected. I'm just
Man,
going
too fast. Too fast.
Too fast.
You got to hit some of them yoga classes.
I'm going. I
Work
got
on your
to.
rotation.
Trey
got
was a
to.
freshman at Pitt when you were still playing for the Steelers.
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
Yeah. No, we actually got a chance to
I think,
meet.
right?
No, we've known each other for years now.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys know each other?
Yeah.
Just through like football or what?
My aunt.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
My Aunt LaShawn. Shout out to my Aunt LaShawn. She's cool as heck. She's nuts, but I love her to death. Right.
All right.
And, but yeah, my aunt introduced me to him a couple years ago now.
Yeah. Shoot,
And,
it's been, oh man. It was what? I retired 2017, like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, it was right after. Yeah.
I was literally joking. Because I was like making a joke that
'Cause I
like you
played
were at
so
Pitt
long?
for so long, but you
Okay.
actually
Yeah, no, he was at Pitt for about
Actually
20
was.
years. No, he was at Pitt for about 20 years, though. No bullshit.
What? That's crazy. Hold on, catch him straight. He don't even like Pitt. He like Ohio State. Matter of fact, I
Hey,
looked that up. No,
hold
I looked
up.
that up.
Trey,
I
hold
looked
up.
that up. He was recruited by Pitt.
Hey,
Was it?
so
Who wants that?
how crazy is this, yo? I was recruited by Pitt the same year Fitzgerald was coming in 2001. I came in here to visit Pitt my senior year when they were when the Heinz had just got the rights to the new stadium, and they were tearing down the whole old stadium and redoing Heinz Field. And I got a chance to literally walk in that stadium as a high school senior from Florida.
Crazy.
Wow.
To being able to sit in the stands and to have feeling of the stands with my jerseys in the city of Pittsburgh.
Wow.
How full circle of a moment is that, you know?
So I want to talk about that.
Yes.
Because I was looking, right? I was doing my research, as they know I do. Sometimes if you look at the paper, I might put something wild on there.
Respect,
Like, for
respect.
example, I know you don't like Penn State, so we're going to go and agree on this. We had somebody in here that was on from Penn State. I put Penn State was the school he went to, but I put boo all the way
man,
next
all the
to
way
it.
across, so
I ain't
you
do
knew
that
what
to
it
you.
was.
I ain't do that to you. That's respect, right? But I also seen that you were recruited by a lot of schools, and one of those schools being Miami. right? So that's being really close to home. And you decide to go to Ohio State, Jim Tressel, right? Going with some guys who are known guys. Troy Smith was one of your quarterbacks at one point in time.
Jeez.
What was that experience like in high school, noticing like my home school wants me, but I don't want to go there? Like, how do you make that decision?
You didn't want to go to the U?
Man, you put me on the spot.
I
just
did.
now.
Yeah. You put me on the spot about my 20 years. You wasn't doing this.
Nah, real talk. As a kid, I definitely watched Santonio Holmes and Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson. I grew up in the backyard watching them boys play ball. I knew I had the talent to be there. One year I got, I think my junior year of high school, I went down to this Miami camp. It was in my junior year going to my senior year. And I had just, heard all this buzz about all the other receivers and how good they were, which guys were getting recruited by Miami, yada, yada, yada. And my goal was just to go out there and just prove to them that I was the best receiver that they have ever seen in high school. And I literally left that Nike camp as the MVP of the Nike camp as a wide receiver. But I didn't want to prove anything to anybody that was going to the University of Miami because I had bigger ambition and dreams, than to be back in the same place that I grew up in.
Right.
It wasn't no disrespect to wanting to be in Miami. They recruited me.
You just had to get out.
It was something different about where I needed to be at in life. And as you see, my path was walking right down the road, down Highway 70 East.
Right.
And here I am, sitting in Pittsburgh as a Super Bowl champion. Went to the Ohio State University.
I like it.
Where I was a national champion. So therefore, having that, under my belt, I saw myself being one of those guys that can play on stage on Saturdays, but I wanted to play somewhere where the world was really watching me and not just the people in my backyard.
Come on, that's a bar right there.
Oh, without.
That was hard, yeah.
That's a bar.
Is that why you chose Duquesne?
Shots fired. Pow, 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 pow.
Hey, everybody got to get it, bud.
Bro, I like the West.
that's fair.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
wish I could have went to Duquesne.
Right.
That was good.
I just had to do it, bro.
I'll
Like
give
that
you-
was so good.
That was
Like,
so good. I'll give you that. No, I didn't have the luxury of going to Ohio State or having a Miami offer, so I took my talents to Duquesne and walked on. Damn, Vinny.
I'm sorry. I don't know what made me.
Oh, my God.
That was
I was
funny.
just having a good time. Over
Yeah,
there, dude.
you had
Like,
a short,
that's
you
what
had
I'm
a
trying
short
do
walk
on
to
this
the
podcast.
NFL. That's
what
you had the
matters.
shortest
Dude.
walk I've ever had to the NFL. Without a fucking doubt.
right.
Across the river.
Yeah, dude.
And fucking you're in the NFL.
That boy swam.
Yes, sir.
I took a fucking canoe. Oh shit! Well, Tone, talk about your time at Ohio State. Like you were redshirted your freshman year. How did that weigh on you coming out? Like you were one of the best receivers coming out of high school, and you're going to Ohio State, and they redshirt you. How did that feel? Like just knowing that you had the talent to be there, to play, to make an impact, but they're redshirting you sitting out.
I think started back in high school
Mm-hmm.
when I didn't get moved up to varsity after my freshman year. Oh, I was sick.
How many people know that story?
Oh, I was sick. Not too many. I was sick, because I really felt that I could, be a part of the team in high school, make the team, and they ended up winning the state championship my freshman year of high school, and I wasn't a part of it. I had like 3 or 4 guys on my team got moved up to varsity.
Yeah.
And that day when we were all getting, selected, it just hit me. It was like, just wait. It's okay. Just wait. I got to college at Ohio State. Oh, I was looking to start. I was looking to play as a freshman coming in. I was trying to take somebody's spot. I had that kind of ambition to be that guy. I traveled to every game just about my freshman year, man, with Coach Tressel. He would look at me on the sideline, want to put me in the game, and I'm just standing there with my uniform, just clean as a whistle. Well, I'm trying to get in this game. Coach, what's up? And he said something to me after the end of the season, and it really resonated with why you're not where you want to be at.
Talk about it.
And it hit me with the inconsistency. I'm like, Coach, I'm a freshman. I'm one of the best receivers you've probably seen, in a long time. Like, what you mean inconsistent? Like, our defense is number 1 right now simply because they got to run every play over and over and over in practice because I'm killing these guys. Like, I'm really, feeling like I'm that guy.
Right.
But Coach took me to the side and said, we're going to watch film together. We're going to sit down and we're going to show you all these plays that you think you were really that guy. And And he put it in perspective. Here are your good plays. Here are your okay plays. Here are your so-so plays. Here are your not-so-good plays. And, boy, before I got down from the front list to the back list, I had way more shit in the backside than I had in the front side. And I'm like, damn. I didn't see that, coach. Like, I don't. You know what I mean? So he talked to me and he told me that, you got to get more consistent with how you practice, your etiquette. Everything has to change. Like, you have to really be a pro at what you want to do. And when I came in that sophomore season, I was a redshirt freshman year. I'm looking to start, right away. Mm-hmm. And just so happened we had another guy that wanted to stay another year. And this guy here want to spend all his time in college football taking up somebody else's time.
Listen, I stole some great money. I don't know about you. I got paid in a different way. I ain't get your payment, right? But I got my payment.
So Drew Carter, one of my good friends and teammate, ended up starting that season, and we were off to a hot start, dude, because we were all able to just fill in each other's spot no matter what. When somebody want to take a break, the next person going in, if the quarterback feel comfortable, he's heaving it up to somebody. Just so happened week 6, man, our guy goes down. Drew Carter get hurt. And I'm probably still 5th, 6th on the depth chart as a redshirt freshman. Like, I'm okay. I'm making my way up, but you still got to give respect to the seniors, you know what I'm saying, in front of you, right? So I'm not tripping on who get in the game right now.
Right.
Man, I'm sitting on the sideline like, ooh, damn, Drew just got hurt. Okay. And all you hear is, Tone, let's go.
History.
Man, where my helmet at?
A little fratted up.
Tone, let's go. Coach, I don't know where my helmet at, coach. Helmet on the far end of the bench. Boom, I come in, run in, get the play. Next play, catch a big pass. Next play, first play, rushing in for a touchdown. I was like, oh, shit.
You scored on the first possession you were in?
Dude.
Wow.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
It took off from there.
What did that feel like, though? Like,
When I caught the first pass on a quick slant, we was playing against Indiana. Caught the pass on
home game.
It was away. It was a away game that season, and I came across the middle. Boom, caught the ball, and I saw the defender coming downhill. So I reverse spent, outside, turned to the sideline. And in high school back in Florida, we had this thing called gridiron dives.
Okay.
So if you have a gridiron dive, you're gonna basically be on TV. So like on Friday mornings when you about to go to school, they get to show all the high school state highlights, you know what I'm saying, before you go to school. So you waiting to see yourself on TV,
right.
You know what I'm saying, when you dive in the end zone. So when I got that spin move and I saw that defender was about 2 steps behind, all I could think about was gridiron diving into that end zone. I'm finna get in the zone right now. I got to get in the end zone. I take off and I dive in for my first touchdown of my college career. And I ended up that game with like 6 catches, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 fumble on the 1 yard line.
You remember that fumble more than anything, don't you?
Oh, Tressel chewed my ass up. Oh, my God. And that was one of the things that he pointed out about being inconsistent, being able to finish. I got to the most comfortable position. I beat the dude so bad on the post route. I'm thinking I left him back there. I crossed the goal line. I'm talking about as soon as my legs crossed and the ball was back here, dude dove. He dove and swiped the ball out of my hand.
No. Really?
Caught the ball in the backhand like
Is there
this.
film on this?
Probably. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Got the ball right out of my hand, right as I'm crossing the goal line. It would have been my 3rd touchdown of the game. It would have been 6 catches, like 180, 100.
You reading, yeah.
Oh, I was balling. I was having a day. But from that moment, that's when I knew I was ready to play college football.
So your number was 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, so right now I want to talk to you about another freshman right now at Ohio State wearing your number, right? Young cat. I know you're talking. I know you know who I'm talking about, right? Jeremiah Smith, man. Like, Ohio State, it's your home for real, right? What does it mean for you to see a young cat wearing your number also balling out as a freshman? Because it seems like, to me, Ohio State's wide receiver you. This is at least what it seems like. Now, other people can fight about it. We can talk about it later. But there's a lot going on at Ohio State right now. So talk about that a little bit. Like, what do you think of the young cat?
Dude, I played with some great players, man. Freaking Michael Jenkins. This dude had hands out of this world. I had a guy, Chris Gamble, who was best 2-way player that I seen, ever play the game. Like, he was really like that guy. Playing alongside Ted Ginn, Gonzalez. Like, you talk about where it started, like back in the early 2000s.
Come on now.
Now we talking what 20 years ago, you know what I'm saying, looked like today. It was like, hold up, man.
Yeah.
Like, why is all these names still relevant today? And these guys, half of them don't even play football no more. But you still know his name. You still know where he came from. You still know what jersey, what uniform, where he played at. That's what Ohio State means. When you see those guys put that uniform on and they become the star that you see on the day, they knew that they were that person, you know what I'm saying, before they got to that position.
Come on.
They just wanted that moment to be right there on TV to do it. So to see that kid come all the way from the state of Florida to represent in the state of Ohio.
What's your number?
The same way that I came up from the state of Florida to represent in the state of Ohio. We want the world to see us. If you're gonna be on TV, like you see Ohio State, you hear these names about these universities, and there's no shade, no disrespect to any one of them, because I got offered from just about every fucking one of them.
Right.
I chose Ohio State for a reason. I knew I was one of those special players that when you see him on TV, you're gonna know him. You're gonna always remember that kid on TV. So to see what this young freshman kid is doing today in 2024, this shit is unbelievable.
One hand, left hand, right hand. What you want to do? How you want to do it?
But he got the 6'3" frame.
205.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
crazy.
too many people that can move like that, you know what I'm saying, with that kind of size. And, you know.
He's crazy. Talk to me about now going, like, you're at Ohio State, right? When did you realize, and I ask a lot of guys this, like, you were good enough to play on Sundays and you were going to get drafted? Because obviously Ohio State has guys, probably the most in the league, get drafted every year. Did they start prepping you for that? Or, like, did you kind of take it into your own hands, like, all right, I'm going to detail my work here, I'm going to detail my routes, I'm going to start working on my 40 start, whatever it may be, to get prepared for the NFL? Like, when did you realize that moment was coming?
Shit, I told my mama before my freshman year I'm leaving in 4 years.
All right, so you knew early.
At the end of the day, like, Mo, I don't know if I can stay here, you know what I'm saying, longer than 4 years, but I'm going to do my 4 years and get my degree, you know, do what I need to do. Lo and behold, I didn't end up getting my degree, ended up getting drafted in my 4th year, but I ended up taking the redshirt year. Having to sit out them years and realize, like, what preparation really looked like, it was the dynasty that Coach Tressel was trying to build. You know, look at all the times we've been to the national championship games. Just as many times as guys have won them, we've been to the national championship games. We've been a part of, you know, what that history and that run looks like as a whole organization. So when I got a chance to just be in that spotlight, all I could think about was, how am I going to be one of those guys that's going to set the bar, you know what I'm saying, just as high when I leave to go to the NFL. So when I started training, it was to the point where I'm trying to get down to the 4.2 speed. I hear the Joey Galloways, the Chris Carter, like all these guys with fast speed times. Like I want a 4-something too. I want to try to run as fast as these guys. You see them on television on Sundays, and you're like, wow, that guy's fast. But this guy really, 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 really trained to be really, really, really that fast. So that was the goal, to set the bar to where every guy that comes here at Ohio State, you're gonna see, like, these guys are freaking really fast.
Right.
These guys are really running. These guys really come here to train. These guys ain't just saying, oh, in the back in the day, oh, they used to run 38 and 39 yards half, you know what I mean, at Ohio State. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I ran a 4.29 and a 4.36 in the indoor facility, weighing 175 pounds. Hell yeah, I was fast. It didn't look like it on the football field.
No.
It didn't look like it wearing fucking 22 pounds extra of equipment, you know what I'm saying, that you got to now train with, right? So being able to train and understand that your training regimen has to be as prepared as you are for the games that you play.
Come on now.
So you can't go out there and train in the heat and think that everything is okay, and now I'm going to go play here in the cold. No, you got to go train in the cold to be prepared for the cold. But when you're training now in the heat, you got to, in the heat or the cold, you got to take that same amount of weight that you have on your back when you running football plays to be prepared to carry that weight around, you know what I'm saying, for 16 games.
Yeah.
That's the way we trained at Ohio State. We trained to be prepared for what the NFL is going to prepare for us, which is, if you want to wear 22 pounds of equipment, you're going to be weighing 177, but you're going to train at 197. Because now you need to know what that's going to feel like, because that's what you're going to be carrying around when you put on that equipment with them cleats, shoulder pads, helmets, you know what I mean, gloves, tights, all the extra shit, right?
Yeah.
Got to be able to train like it.
It's funny you said that, because I get a lot of shit, especially this time of year and later in the year, because we go helmets because guys are so banged up, and I wear pads every day because I'm snapping. I snap in the game with pads, so I'm not going to go out there. But guys will be like, why are you wearing pads? Why are you doing that? I'm like, I got to train. I got to snap with the pads on. Like, what am I going to do? Go snap with the pads on Wednesday and Thursday, and then come Sunday, have the pads on, or snap without them and then have the pads on?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. So
Yeah, you got to practice like a pro, man.
yeah.
Stay ready.
I did that shit in high school. All my catches in high school on the sidelines and in the end zone, I'm trying to catch 2 feet down.
2 feet, yeah.
Everybody was like, dude, you know you only need 1 foot in high school. No, the hell I don't. I need 2 feet.
That's pretty,
I
pretty ironic for what happened.
just
Come
gonna
on, man.
say, dude,
Come on now. I got to be prepared. I got to be prepared for where I want to go at. So I got to start doing what I need to do today to be prepared for tomorrow.
We'll get into that. I know. Well, trust me.
Hey,
That's
I got some.
Obviously, we don't get into that. But so you get drafted by the Steelers, 2006. You knew Big Ben was there. Obviously, got drafted 2 years before that. How fired up were you knowing that you're going to a team they got the up and coming stud quarterback that's absolutely slinging it?
Man, it wasn't even that they were studs. They had just won the Super Bowl.
They were crazy.
They had just won the Super Bowl. So
05.
now it's bringing back what those feelings of, late 90s. The late 90s when they had good runs at the Super Bowl, but they turned that new leaf in the 2000s. And when I got here, I had already been a fan of Pittsburgh since I was a little kid.
Hell yeah.
So
Really?
yeah.
Well, what made you a fan of the Steelers? Was it a player or just the culture? Or?
Man, probably had to be Rod Woodson and
Rod.
Madden 90 and Madden 95. So you guys were just born. You know what I'm saying?
Madden 95?
Yeah.
Was that Eddie George on the cover?
Oh, see, this guy here is too freaking young.
That was 2000. That was 2001.
Eddie George.
Dude, I didn't even know Madden existed before that.
Hey, so this is on Sega and Super
Are you
Nintendo,
sure it was
brother.
Madden? This is QB Club 94 with
No,
Brett
he
Favre on the
knows.
cover, dude.
Bro, I had
Okay,
the video game. It was the first game that I really learned how to study like football. So Rod Woodson played punt return. So when they used to kick it back to him, you know what I'm saying, on punt return, all you do is run to the sideline and run up
you
the
out.
sideline.
You
He goes
out.
up, you know what I'm saying, for a touchdown. So that really drew me to liking Pittsburgh first and foremost when I was a kid. And the fact that I had uncles in the house that were Cowboy fans. So anytime they played, against the Steelers, it was always, beef in the house.
Of course.
At the end of the day, having that mindset that I wanted to play here and then getting drafted here, it really set the bar high for me that, this is where you really are going to end your career. Like,
So
this is a great place to be.
I have a question because I seen something. I need to know if it's true. So you say you got uncles in the household, super competitive. Is your second cousin Fred Taylor?
My second cousin is Fred Taylor.
So
Yes, sir.
what is that competitive edge like growing up? Because y'all ain't far from each other, and I know y'all beefing at some point in time. Because I have cousins I was fighting every day.
Nah, he was actually a little older, and I got the chance to watch him in high school when I was in elementary school, man. I remember just going to the games and hearing the announcer call Fred Taylor on a carry, 21 yards, touchdown, Fred Taylor, 78-yard break for Fred Taylor. It's just over and over. That's all you would hear, on game day. So as a kid, like knowing that I go home and I see him every day and I know I hang out with him, in the evenings, that you just saw it was the aura that was there. Like it was in our chemistry. And I just somehow developed it. But from the pipeline in our hometown back in Belglade, shout out to Muck City, everybody back in the Glades, 561.
Belglade.
That place really is special, man, and there's so many more players that came before me and came after me that have went to the NFL. So this place is truly remarkable, and to just grow up in the muck and to know that so many other players like me can sit behind these same, podcast lenses and these microphones and be able to share this same type of story with so many people. And we grew up in a town with only 6,000, 7,000 people, when we growed up.
Wow.
So to now know that we are world famous, to people in the world that admire us, like that's a real big milestone, coming from a small area like that. And to touch base, I think you mentioned something about, I think you said something about my freshman year, or when you asked me, I take back, to my freshman year when I got in, all I wanted to do was be one of the guys. And I told the guys flat out, I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler. Growing up in Ohio with all these guys who are either Cincinnati or
They
Browns
hated that
fans,
shit.
they didn't like that.
Hell
But
no.
they knew we had to grow a mutual respect,
Right.
Like at the end of the day now, I'm here for you, but I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right? So I was able to take, you know what I mean, that with me when I came to Pittsburgh, that
I love that.
I'm right down the street from where I just started at. Like, Pittsburgh's right around the corner. Ohio State is right around the corner. The fan base, the people, like this is something special right here.
Wow.
So now I'm drafted as a rookie, and I remember the last game of the season we played against Cincinnati Bengals, and this is for Cincinnati to go to the playoffs, and they hadn't been to the playoffs in quite some time. And I remember Big Ben, looking over his shoulder at one moment and was like, "Hey, if I give you this look, I give you the signal, I'm gonna need that one-step slant." And just being ready for that moment, dude, that safety came down and took off, and I took that one-step slant, and Seven threw that ball so fast. I'm talking about the ball like almost went through my hands, to catch it. But when I snapped that ball, so fast down, I remember the defender just reaching back, grabbing on my shoulder pads, and I slung him off. And all I could see was green grass in front of me. And I'm just running. I'm looking back. I see the dude come across the field. I'm talking about fast as hell. This motherfucker, I'm like, oh shit. Gridiron. I took off from like the 7-yard line, bro. Look at the film. I took off from like the 7-yard line and fucking flew all the way to the end zone.
That boy was shook. That's why that boy wanted to score so bad.
It was overtime too, and we had just got the ball back from Cincy. We had stopped. I think they missed the field goal, or we blocked the field goal or something. We got the ball back, and Seven was like, "Hey, if the safety come down right now, I'm gonna need you on this one step." Man, he threw that freaking ball to me, dude. The rest was history.
There's something about Florida guys. I don't know what it is.
Florida guys are a bit different,
They're
bro.
different.
They
Respect. Appreciate it.
In a respectful way, they're a bit different. Like they're all fast as hell. They're all talented as shit. Like,
and they're gonna talk crazy to you the whole time.
And they're gonna talk mad shit.
Dude, I grew up with playing against freaking Devin Hester, bro.
Oh god.
So imagine seeing this dude on the football field, you know what I'm saying, in Little League football.
Yeah.
The same shit we see today, you know what I'm saying, in Devin Hester in the National Football League. He was doing that same thing, playing Little League football on Saturdays.
But I don't think they understand. I think you got to explain it to everybody that's sitting here right now. How important is Little League football in Florida? Because I heard a lot of different things. I heard that you might get paid as a kid. Like, you playing Pop Warner, your uncle down the street said, "I got $400 for you right now. You score 4 touchdowns against this hood." That's what I heard. I need to know the truth.
At the end of the day, you're going to take care of your people. And if it boils down to pushing your guy, you know what I'm saying, a little bit harder to play a little harder, you know what I'm saying, give a little bit more effort for you to earn, you know what I'm saying, itself, it's a psychological thing that happens, you know what I'm saying, when you grow up in the hood, you know what I mean?
For sure.
A lot of us aren't taught how to actually be book smart, you know? So the street smarts make more sense in how you approach seeing different things in different avenues, and what better ways to push and motivate a kid than only the way you know. We only talk by experience. So, and growing up in the hood, if there's somebody, uncle, cousin, saying that he, got you on this game, like your whole focus is, hey, I need to ball out for my team, one, but also I need to do this here because Unc say he's going to take care of me, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So being able to utilize that to our advantage, you know what I'm saying, as young kids, without a doubt, that was definitely a big thing.
Do you have like a welcome to the NFL moment that you came across the middle a couple of times, probably got stuck, but do you have like that one moment where you're like, damn, he got me?
Long snapper come down on a punt. Absolutely.
I think I had one of those moments too, though, before. Probably Cincinnati. They were a very dirty team. Cincinnati was.
You guys had some beef those years.
Yeah, I was coming across the middle. Seven threw a ball, tried to get it over the backside of the line, or the top of the linebacker. Got it over the top of the linebacker. I jumped up, catch the ball. Fucking defender goes right underneath, clips my feet. I fall over on the back of my neck. Laid there for a second, and I get up. All I could think about my mom in the stands. I'm like, fuck.
She's probably crying, yeah.
Yeah, like it was just ugly. And that was that one moment I was like, you know what? Don't ever fucking do that again. Don't ever jump up for a pass across the middle of the field when you know you're not fucking coming down on 2 feet.
It ain't worth it.
From then, I made business decisions about welcome to the fucking NFL. Wow. Without a doubt.
Answer me this now, because the rules were different when you were playing. Like, they could take off your head, no flag. Now these guys have to take out your legs. Would you prefer them to hit a receiver coming across the middle higher? Because, like, these guys are coming out with blown knees now, quad injuries, everything. So, like, the rules have changed and these injuries have changed now. Guys aren't getting knocked out concussions, but they're getting lower extremity injuries. Would you prefer coming across the middle, just let them light you up top, or taking out your knees?
When we played, we had guys knew how to tackle.
Right. Bottom
So
line.
the issue was, all right, you tackling a little bit too dirty.
Mm-hmm.
You going after something that's like, leave the helmet on the guy, you know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
take his helmet off while you're tackling him, right? But like you said, now we're talking about guys that are doing something that is career-ending and detrimental to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just boils down to how we're being taught from moving forward, from Little League to high school to college
Right.
and to the pros.
Yeah.
So in my journey, we had 2-a-days and 3-a-days in high school. In my journey, we had 2-a-days in college. In my journey, we had 2-a-days in fucking NFL. Nowadays, we're talking about guys hit practice one day. Hit
one day.
in practice 1 day a week.
That's crazy.
So you tell me how you're supposed to be prepared for a full-on battle when you're not even physically preparing for a full-on battle. So when these guys are going down here tackling, you know what I'm saying, they're just trying to make whatever the fuck they can.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they don't care because ain't nobody teaching them how to actually tackle and go in and form tackles. Look at all these guys that are missed tackles, bouncing in on guys in the NFL. You come to this place to get paid.
Yeah.
And that's what you bring to the table, and that's what you put on TV. So it all boils down to what kind of guys are we really going after when we're going searching for these guys in college football?
Right.
You're right.
We're going after a name, we're going after a stat. What are we talking about here? You know what I mean? We're not going after guys that really want to play the game, that really respect the game, that really say, you know what, I'm going to play this game as clean as I can, but I'm going to play it as fast as I can, but I'm going to also play it as mean as I can, but I'm going to always be clean.
Yeah.
You can't find a guy that can even understand how to put his mindset around that because he wants to do what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. It's not taught that way anymore.
You're right.
Wow.
The game's changed so much, and if I'm allowed to call him an old head,
Respect.
I mean, the old heads, like even I look at position changes and like how the rules have changed certain positions. I saw Greg Warren. Greg Warren was at the hotel Saturday night, and he came up and we were talking for a minute, and Greg was our snapper for 13 years.
My teammate.
Yeah, unbelievable snapper. But he played in an era where they were absolutely fucking killing the snapper, bro. Like, you can snap it right off the rip on a punt, and they're just hitting your head and field goals lined up right over you, hitting your head. Now they're not allowed to line up directly over us. So, like, just in that aspect, the game's changed, and it affects every position across the board.
Right.
The rules are different. So it is interesting to hear from a guy that's, played in that era, that's running across the middle, taking full-blown, like, Ryan Clark hits with their head.
Oh, yeah, these guys ain't got no awareness these days, man.
None.
They just run across
dumber.
the field thinking that they can run however, you know what I'm saying, the quarterback just going to throw it wherever.
So touch on this, too. And I know multiple quarterbacks have came out and said, like Brady came out and said that it's these quarterbacks' jobs to protect these receivers. Like, how good was Seven at protecting guys going across the middle and these quarterbacks like Brady, Manning, that were throwing these balls purposely low so these receivers weren't taking hits? Like, I don't know if QBs are doing that now.
So, yeah, we had a system when we were in Pittsburgh, and the system was built around how do you stay friendly? You want me to protect you, you got to protect me.
Receiver friendly,
So,
baby.
We had this system where all of our routes that were out-breaking, in-breaking routes, we were always taught to get friendly. So, therefore, when I run the in route at 14 yards, I'm not coming across the 45-yard line. I'm coming across the 43-yard line.
You're coming back to it.
I'm going to run to the 45-yard line, but I'm
Run
catching the
downhill.
football at the 43-yard line. Because now I just created separation between myself and the safety. You see, now when I'm coming across and that safety got a bead on where I just broke in from, and he see that quarterback launching that ball, he know what angle he's taking. But when you take 2 steps to break back downhill, that fucking guy got to stop his feet, reload, think about which way he need to go and make that tackle from this point on.
Right.
So we were taught that, you know what I'm saying, when I first got to the NFL by my coach, Bruce Arians, who coached BA, ended up winning in Tampa, Super Bowl on his own. He, taught me what that meant when I was running my out routes and how to get friendly. So when I got into the NFL, the DBs was like, man, how the hell we see all of these routes happening, but we can't get to the ball in time? It's because we had a system. That we're not coming across here on the 8-yard, 10-yard, 12, 14-yard route. No, we finna come 2 yards shorter than what the route called for. Because now that just created that separation, saved us in the game, and fucking saved us a lot of hits, you know.
Who's the toughest DB you've ever matched up against? That's like followed you around. I know your ass got followed around.
That's crazy.
Go ahead and say it. And I know who it is. Go ahead and say it.
It was definitely, I would definitely say three guys top that list. Champ Bailey.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hall of Famer.
Asante Samuels.
Hall of Famer.
And my guy, Darrell Reeves.
Come on, I already knew it. I knew
Like, when I say one of the toughest guys to fucking go up against every fucking day, like in practice.
Reeves Island.
Dude, it was days that we're 12 plays, we're 6 for 6. It's like he got 6, I got 6. We got 8 plays, he got 4, I got 4. It's like,
Wow.
bro, you're not gonna let me get no separation. He's like, nah, Tone, you're not winning today. You're not winning today. I think that iron sharpening type iron, skill set, man, really like set the bar for him, really high to see how good he really played the game. And I got a chance to play with him. But going against Champ Bailey in those settings, like I really respected those guys, you know what I'm saying? Like Asante Samuel just saw the game completely different. He was just one of those guys that said, I'm just gonna break quick on every pass that I see. Reeves said, I'm gonna stick to your ass like glue. Champ said, I ain't just gonna let you go nowhere. I'm gonna just follow you all the way around. Wherever you go, and I'm gonna be right there with you. You got guys like that, man, you gotta really hone in on your skill set and know how to really play that game.
So what DB right now gives you that same feel? Because for me, I watch a lot of football. I love watching film. It's my favorite thing to do. And like you, these guys know I'm a terrible fan. I don't like being next to nobody. I don't like watching it with the volume on. So, like, tell me a little bit, like, who right now watching the game film that you be watching gives that same resemblance of the Champ Baileys, the Darrell Reeveses, those type of guys?
The guys who you don't hear the names being talked about on Sundays. Goddamn Sauce Gardner.
Wow.
I like Sauce.
When you don't hear nothing
hear,
about this guy's
true.
name on Sundays, that's because nobody's throwing the fucking football to that man's side.
Yep.
Period.
Period.
That's talk about. Like, when you're not being talked about, that's when you know you're doing your job. But on another note, now he get 8, 10 interceptions a season. Now he's a Darrell Reeves island type, you know what I'm saying, guy.
Right.
He has it on his own. So if his elevation and interceptions were to increase, we're talking about a guy that's now holding down one side of the football field, you know what I'm saying, by himself that I like. How tall is he? About 6'3",
Yep,
6'2"?
6'3".
Like,
6'3",
there's not too many freaking corners you're going to see, you know what I'm saying, that size. Like, that's impressive to be 6'3", playing cornerback.
What about Patrick Surtain? You don't like Patrick?
It's not that I don't like him. I don't see him. He plays in Denver. He's outside the box from me. I don't get a chance to watch him on film very much. So this is my opinion and the guy that I got a chance to watch a little bit because he's on this side of town.
For sure.
Yep.
What makes from your standpoint? What makes a DB like elite? Is it a guy that can jam at the line, a guy that can run with anybody, a guy that
Good question.
just has great ball skills? Like obviously all three of them come into play, but from your standpoint, like what's the most important thing for a DB to be successful in the NFL?
I would definitely think it's the intensity that they bring.
Like a pissed off little guy.
Not even pissed off. I'm going to be a little bit physical on you, but it's going to be so a little bit physical to where the noise the fuck out of you. And when you get them guys that's going to be constantly annoying, always on your hip, always bumping you at the end of your routes, always tagging along, always grabbing your arms when you're running down the field, that's hard to get away because he's constantly doing it every time.
Yeah.
So when you got to fight somebody that's doing that to you all the time, you're in a different headspace. You now got to worry about this all game because he's not stopping. But now you get them guys that's just going, oh, I'm nice, so I'm just going to shadow you, you know what I'm saying? I can do this here. I don't got no respect for you.
Yeah.
Play some football. Like, show me you can bump me off the line. Show me that you're going to run me down the field. Show me that you're going to push me out of bounds. Show me that you're going to tackle me, you know what I'm saying, straight up. I want to see guys, you know what I'm saying, that really, like, play man-to-man.
I like that.
Not running down the field, tugging on your jersey, you know what I'm saying, looking, trying to hide from the referees, you know what I'm saying, you know what you're doing. I don't like that kind of football, man. That's ticky. Like, come on, man. I can't defend myself when I'm running down the field and you grab my jersey, slowing me down. Why am I got 2 steps on you and I can't catch the football? That don't make sense.
You don't like the ticky-tack shit.
I don't like that at all.
Nah.
I don't like that at all.
All right, well, we got to get into the 2006 run.
Wait.
Man, I don't even know
2008.
where. No, I don't even know where to begin with the Super Bowl, the MVP, the catch.
You talking about the first Super Bowl, or the one that
No,
you
2008.
talking about 2008 when
Or 2008. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's what I'm talking about. My fault.
all good.
But I just want to get into that run, like the leader, the locker room. What was the vibe like?
Come on.
Like, what was it? Just give us a whole synopsis on like what was the vibe like going through that run and then eventually winning the Super Bowl.
We won games in quarters.
What you mean by
So in
that?
our 16-game season, the season was broken down into 4 games.
Yep.
So our goal was to go 3-1 or 4-0 in that
quarter.
season.
Is there a reason you guys approached it that way? Was that always the approach, or was that different that year based off of like, man, this is an overwhelming schedule. Let's break it down into quarters, or like
1 game at a time.
Mm.
It don't get no simpler than that. And if you can now see what 4 games would look like if you're putting together film, you can see what 8 games look like when you put together film. You see what 12 games look like when you put the film on. You see what 16 games look like. Where do you think you should be at? Where do you want to be at? So now when you start evaluating how you're doing inside of these quarters, man, 3-1, 4-0, 4-0, 3-1.
Win.
We just lost 4 fucking games in the NFL.
Mm.
You see how that plays out? So when you do the math and you realize how do you break it down to how do you position yourselves, you know what I'm saying, for the playoff run, that was how Coach T approached it. It was 4 games at a time, but 1 day at a time.
you
And
guys.
that's what we did.
I look at it that way. Like we were, 3-1 in the first block. Unfortunately, we're 0-1 right now. We got to get these next 3. Like I feel like a lot of people look at it that way. Break the season into quarters. You
Yeah.
got your first quarter where we were 3-1. That's a winning quarter. Like I know it
Absolutely.
sucks we wanted to 4-0, but
Absolutely.
this quarter we're off to a shitty start, 0-1. Like we got to get this next one. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing we're focused on. But I feel like a lot of people break it down like that. Mike T tends to break it down like that for quarters, especially when like November, December football rolls around. Like those are the important months.
It's tough.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's tough when you get in that division games, but you're in the division because now you're fighting for it's a system. It's
Right.
a point system in the NFL. See your in season.
Yes.
I mean your in conference games
Yeah,
are worth 2 points.
they're weighted.
Wow.
yeah.
So now you playing against a team that played against a team in your conference, but you got to play that same team out of conference too.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So now your points be evaluated against that team that's in your conference who played against that team out of the conference.
I guarantee there's a lot of people who didn't know that because I didn't know that.
That's not a known thing. It's not something that is known to the public. Like
Right.
this is just that's how the system is.
That's crazy.
That's the NFL system. It's nothing that is it's publicly in the records,
Right.
but it's the NFL
It's
system.
like one of those fine print things that they don't talk about.
Yeah.
No
one talks about
it.
It's
Yeah, it's just a system. It's how we build. We know these games here are playoff games.
Right.
When you're in your conference and you want to be rated in your conference, you got to win your conference schedule. So those are considered playoff games.
Right.
So they weighted a little bit higher if you can beat the games in your conference, but also beat the teams out of your conference that your team in the conference played against.
See, I want the perspective of both of you. And I want to know if this is true because this is like a myth to some, but might be true to you. Do people play way harder in the playoffs? Or is it like moderate or is it the same?
Tone can answer.
When
Oh, my bad.
when you get in the
My
I've
bad.
been in 2 playoff
I'm just
games,
trying
but
to-
we got exit.
now when you get in the playoffs, man, you got one goal in mind. That's to get to the championship. So win, lose, or draw, you're there simply because your team has a goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
now every team is 0-0 in the playoffs.
Right.
No matter if you got the first game as a wild card, no matter if you got a bye game, you know what I'm saying? You still 0-0 when you start that first playoff game.
Right.
So at the end of the day, knowing how you want to start that run into that playoff, that's going to dictate, how your outcome is. Simple
Sure.
as that.
You had a pretty damn good run in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
13 catches.
Oh, yeah.
223, 3 tugs.
Oh, yeah. I take that all day.
Hell yeah.
All day.
You think going into the Super Bowl after those, like they were keying on you a lot more than you thought?
Being in my third year, we had a team. We had like, you know what I mean, a team that could go to the Super Bowl 2, 3, 4 years in a row, right? So we had players who fit that role.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter who was starting, no matter who was playing, we knew how to get the job done because it had already been done before us. So when we got into the playoffs, it was, we've been here before. Everything that you do counts. Don't ever take it for granted that that little play might not make that. That's okay. No, it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So we had that kind of mentality that guys wanted to taste of that championship again. We're not, no, hey, don't you be the fucking reason that I don't get to the Super Bowl. That's basically what it boiled down to. That kind of chemistry that we had in the locker room was, don't be the fucking reason we don't make it to the Super Bowl.
I got a question. I don't know if I'm out of line asking this question.
Probably, but it's okay.
How are you not a Pittsburgh Steeler for life?
That actually is a really good question. That's a good question because I want to know too.
It's a business.
I know,
Man,
dude.
I couldn't have used a better word, bro.
I know.
I learned some shit along the way that say at the end of the day, it's just business.
He's still a Steeler for life.
When you go out and you put yourself in position to not have what you want, you're the only person to blame for that.
That question,
At the end of the day.
let me be very clear, wasn't directed at why didn't you want to be a Steeler? That question was, how did we not make this happen? Because that's like, to me, that's like saying to Sid for the Pens, like, thank you for winning 3 Stanley Cups, but like, you could go finish your career somewhere else. I'm not questioning the Steelers organization. But what I'm saying is, like, bro, in 2009, you made one of the most historic catches, not just for the Steelers franchise, but literally NFL history.
Crazy.
And then in 2010, you're a New York Jet.
That hurts.
And it's just like,
I cried.
damn, dude.
I remember where I was. I cried. I was a kid. I cried like a mother. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. I could tell you, first of all, R.I.P. to my uncle. You're my uncle's favorite player, right?
Respect.
So I remember to date how I was sitting, what I was doing, how many people were in the house.
Same.
I guarantee these guys here can remember the exact timing, watching your feet.
Went nuts, bro.
And went stupid. But
nuts.
But this is what's crazy, y'all. Because I just
goosebumps, bro.
Goosebumps, bro. Like, it changed my whole life. Now, this is what's even crazier.
Yeah.
I'm doing my research, right, fellas? Like, I do my research. And you're talking about your feet being crossed and your faith with God. Oh, yeah, I pay attention. I don't know if you know. If you watch film, I watch film. You know what I mean?
Talk to me.
You're talking about how in your head that the moment wasn't as big as what you really felt. What you felt was bigger than that, right? Because what you're thinking and picturing in your head, and I don't know if y'all know this, but this is me doing my research, right?
No, hit it.
He's thinking about Jesus Christ. He's not thinking about the game-winning touchdown. If you look at his feet, like this, right? If you look on what they did to Jesus before they put him up on the cross, right? His feet is like this.
Yeah.
That's how he sees that moment. But for us, we see the moment as, that's an amazing catch. So I want you to elaborate on that a little bit, because I know that was very special to you.
Man, you about to make some tears roll down my face right now. Real talk. Yeah, that one really touched home. That was only the 3rd time that I had ever played back in the state of Florida since I left in 2002, since high school. So it's talking 2007, 2009.
Wow.
So I've been since 7, 8 years since I ever even stepped back foot in the state of
Super Bowl was
Florida.
in Tampa, right?
Was in
How
Tampa.
far is that from home?
Probably a little over 280 miles, almost 300 miles.
All right, so you had some
So not
family.
far.
Yeah.
That's backyard still. You know what I mean? So, when I was a kid, I used to have trouble sleeping when I was in like 5th grade, and a lot of it was due to the fact that I was afraid to die. And I used to have these moments where I used to sit in the house, nobody would know. I was just sitting in the house, just wouldn't even go to sleep. Stay up all night, go to school the next day. Just go to school. Nobody know, nobody talk about it, didn't talk to nobody about it. And I said to myself, in prayer, obviously speaking to God when I was a kid, that I just wanted to be remembered in the world before I die. And I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know where that would come from, like what that moment would look like in history. But when that moment happened in the Super Bowl, that's all I saw. I saw the image that I asked for. So we always remember the image that we envisioned of God being sacrificial on the cross. Like,
that's real.
I asked for that when I was a kid. So to see that moment happen, to witness that, like this moment here after the game,
that's incredible.
50-yard line. That's all I thought about was thank you. I didn't care about the game. I didn't care about the catch. I didn't care about the Super Bowl MVP. Somebody will remember who I was from that moment on.
Damn.
One of my favorite images from that play isn't just the catch. It's the moment where you're sitting there like this, just holding the ball, just looking down, and just, I think it's Mewelde Moore comes over and like hugs you.
Him and Hines jumped on me.
Hines jumps on you. What are you thinking in that moment when you're sitting there just holding the ball? Like, did you know your feet were down? I'm assuming you did, but like, what's going through your mind? Like, you didn't even check to see if it was a touchdown, bro. You literally just sat there like this.
And on top of that, Vin, bro, I don't know if you know this. My man had dropped that pass a couple times in practice and in a lot of different ways.
You dropped the ball early, or no? Was it earlier in the game or earlier in that drive?
That was the play before.
Right. So, like, what do you take me to that moment? What's going through your mind while you're sitting there?
Man.
Trust is preparation.
Dude, I literally cried when I sat on the sideline. Like I couldn't even cry because they were shaking me, they were jumping on me, they were pulling me. Like I was really trying to cry. Like, yo, I was like, damn, like I did it.
Right.
It took about 20 minutes for the referee to throw his hands up. Like I was sitting there looking, I'm like, come on. Oh shit. He said I'm in. Hines jumped out. He said, dude, did you get in? He said, was your feet in? Did you sure your feet was in? I was like, yeah, I was in. I think I was in. I hope. So when I got up, and I saw the referee throw his hands up, I was like, you know what? These people just witnessed something. And the first thing came to mind was LeBron James' celebration was, they just witnessed this.
Yep.
So I'm like, yes, like this is my moment. Like I've asked for this moment to be, where it's at. And to stand on the sideline watching, waiting, pacing up and down the sideline, waiting for the referee to come back with the count. And all I could see on the screen was NBC it. And they had my feet planted before they were crossed. And as that ball hit, if it wasn't for instant replay, they probably would have called it an incomplete pass. Because it happened so fast.
Wow.
When I say I didn't have time to even put a grip on the ball, pull the ball in, focus on anything else, it caught me at the top of both spectrums. That had Francisco been there half a second earlier, there is no play.
Did you come out of the break like thinking, I'm open, this ball's coming to me? Because there was a defender kind of sitting in the flat, like Ben kind of placed that
perfect
only in a spot where you could get. So when you came out of your break, did you think like, I'm getting this ball, I'm gonna be open, like he's got to put it here? Or were you kind of shocked?
At the setup, yeah, it was like, yo, I just kept looking over to the right corner the whole time I was standing on the line of scrimmage. I was like, I got to go over there in that corner. I got to get to that corner over there. And I'm batting my eyes back and forth, just picking out the spot that I need to go and stand at, for him to throw the football. So leading up into that play, that's what we did every day, first day of playoffs. First day of playoffs, Ben and I would go down to the back of the end zone, just throw passes in the back of the end zone, each side, go back and forth, each side. We go and we run this play, first day of playoff practice, and I think I dropped it in the back of the end zone, wide open. Then we start running the one-on-one plays, throwing the corner out, same thing. Nothing happening with me in the back of the end zone. We kept calling this play. We ran this play in certain situations in practice. We was running this play. BA was like, I don't care. We're going to keep this play here in the playbook. So we kept the play in the playbook. Every day in practice, we ran the same play. Every result was either Ben threw the ball out of bounds, he threw the ball, defender intercepted the ball, patted it down. I dropped it, no touchdowns. Every day in practice.
It's crazy.
All the way from the first playoff game to the last practice. The last play in practice we threw was a pass to me standing in the corner of the end zone in practice. And I put my hands up like this and bent through the football right through my arms. And I walked back to the play, left the football on the field, walked back to the huddle. They did victory celebration, and we went into the locker room. That was the last play that we ran at Super Bowl 43 practice.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's a moment.
Because normally OCs will just can that. Like if they're not completing that, they'll be like, we're not running it. We're not going to this.
We had meetings. We talked about that fucking play every day. They were trying to figure it out. They were trying to figure out the coverage, trying to figure out the route. Like, where do we stand? How many? Like, what do we do? Do we move somebody? Do we do these? Everything. We kept the corner route. The corner route was going to be the play the whole entire time. We got in that last play of the huddle. Ben looked at me in the huddle.
Yeah, I need to hear this.
He looked at me in the huddle. He just stared at me. I remember right before he run in, Heath Miller, like, don't worry about it, Tone. He's going to throw you the next pass. Look over at Heath, man, you know, get out of here with that. He ain't throwing me this ball, man. I just dropped a wide open pass for a touchdown. I know he ain't throwing it to me. Mawelde came in, Hines come in, he chimed in, and the whole time I'm mic'd up in the Super Bowl. So I had forgot completely that I was mic'd up from the first play of the game. I told the players, you know, hey, I'm the police.
Yeah, Mike.
Just so you know, I'm the police.
Right.
So that's our code for microphone, you know what I'm saying, on us. And so boil down to that last drive of the game and all those flashbacks and my little childhood memories, like, dude, you here now. You're here. You're in the Super Bowl. You can't play no other game that's going to ever be bigger than this one here. So what are you going to do? I'm daring to be great. I start talking shit to myself. I'm daring to be great. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm about to be great. This is the time to be great. And as that is coming through, like, all I could feel was the pressure of that moment. Like, you played in the high school state championship games and you had 0 touchdowns, bro. You're a state champion. You went to the national championship game and you have 0 catches and 0 touchdowns, bro, but you're a national champion. You're in the Super Bowl right now with 4 catches for like 64 yards. The fuck are you doing? What are you doing right now? Shit. Time to be great. It's the last drive of the game. What you gonna do? I'm gonna be great. You sure? I'm daring to be great. I'm daring to be great. Who's daring to be great? You? I'm daring to be great. And in that moment, we get on the field. I tap 7. Hey, I want the ball right now. I want the ball. We get out on the field. Last play of the drive, 7 was consistent with staying with what he knew was going to get him to the Super Bowl. He felt the energy. I felt the energy. I wanted to be a part of that. And I knew Hines Ward was hurt. I knew Heath Miller was getting double teamed all game. They had this rookie cornerback covering me all game. He ain't been in the league 3 years. He don't know how to really be in the pressure moments.
That's disrespectful, too. That's disrespectful. I ain't gonna lie, that's disrespectful.
Come on, man. So I was ready to eat. I was ready for that moment. I was livid through that moment. I was always ready and built and prepared for that moment. So when it came the second time around, there was no doing anything else other than stay your ass on the ground, watch the ball through. That's it. The rest is history.
That moment wasn't only for you. That moment was legitimately for the whole city of Pittsburgh.
Come on, man.
Everybody that was watching that game, like we said, I remember exactly where I was. I'm like, oh my God, he caught it. My papa was watching with my papa.
Yeah.
You were
Screaming. He was like, he caught it, Santonio caught it. I'm like, yeah, he caught it.
But you know what question I have, though? Now, this is a more funny question. It's a serious question, though. How lit was Pittsburgh when y'all came back during that parade? Because I ain't gonna lie, I know Southside was jumping.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, what'd you get into at that parade?
You couldn't even get through the city. Everything was on lockdown, man. People were everywhere. Dude, my home was so flooded and raided with everything that you can think of, Pittsburgh, from posters to jerseys to cakes and pies and
Giant Eagle going
signs.
crazy.
When I say, dude, I couldn't even pull up in my driveway when I got home.
People were waiting for you.
There was so many boxes and everything in the
Yo,
drop. People were dropping off
crazy.
so much donation, like just giving me everything they had in Pittsburgh, because that was their, way of saying thank you, for what you did. And in the small town where I lived at, everybody in the neighborhood had left something on my house from that lived there, let alone all the people that came.
That's amazing.
So,
That's
man,
What's
it
one of
was-
the craziest things that you were gifted after that? Like you just opened it up and you're like, what?
If you could say. I mean, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
even
if it's legal.
remember.
I'm just
It
wondering,
could.
anybody send you any paintings?
We talking about 2006. We talking about 17 years now. Almost. Yeah.
So I'm an artist. I've been painting and drawing my whole life.
He's been waiting to do this since he was 7
Dude.
years old. He's been waiting for this moment right now.
My senior year in high school was the year you guys won that Super Bowl. And I remember I enter an art contest and I draw a picture of you. I come in second place in this contest to this kid. Kid made a really nice picture, but the teacher helped him with most of it. So I was pretty hurt about it,
He's
okay?
making excuses.
He's still pissed.
You gotta show him that. You gotta show him that pic.
He's like, that fucking teacher.
I'm going to do this painting to show that guy now.
Like, who's really better?
Who's really doing it?
But also,
respect.
Vinny owes a couple people some paintings too.
He does.
So
Yeah, I gotta make a
but I
trip
know
to the
he's- I know he's
facility.
gonna
Come
prioritize.
on, man. You can't be owing people out here in these streets, man. You got to pay them debts up, man. You got to pay them debts up, man.
Dude, Christian tells me when we're getting a guest like 45 minutes before the episode.
does do
So
that
it's like
shit.
hard to be like,
that was with me too. Just having to figure out the time.
Yeah.
you know
Dude, we
what I'm
get
saying,
it, man.
and what was working.
We
I just
work
did
it
a
out.
thing with Giant Eagle right before I came here, so I had to go to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like right before coming in here. You
Trying to do us a favor?
what we
Trey,
talking
Trey.
about?
Oh, no. Okay, never
Working
mind.
on it.
Never mind. We working on something.
I do want to bring up. I did a little skit for the Steelers social media 2 years ago in training camp. I was scanning tickets in, and I had this Yinzer come up to me, and he was like, "Santonio Holmes is down there," and I'm like, "I think Tone's
Have you seen
retired."
this?
We're at training camp, and I'm like, "I think Tone's retired." The guy walks away. I'm like, I was like, "I don't think Tone's up here at camp." He walks away. He comes back up to me about 20 minutes later, and I guess you were doing an event during training camp down there, and he comes back up, and he's like, "Hey, Santonio's down there. Santonio Holmes is down there. I'm telling you." I'm like, "Really?" But we got to show you that
Yeah,
video.
once we get off here, I'll show you. It's hilarious.
That's
bro.
what's
It's
up.
like-
It's
That's what's up.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nah, man, this is a great city, man. Football is life around here, man. And I think winning championships and the connection of what the bridges, do for the cities and the community to be able to get from point A to point B, like there's always, some type of connection here in this city. And to have, a city of champions, like this is truly, a remarkable place, to be a part of.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
So, like I told you, I do my research, man, but I noticed something in doing my research that I didn't think I would notice, but I really did notice it. Now, understanding your story, you love Pittsburgh. Like, you always loved Pittsburgh. When I looked at all the photos of you on the Jets, you never smiled. So, like, not like I'm saying, like, not one, bro. Like with the Steelers, you was happy as hell, but everywhere else, you look miserable. So, like, can you just for a second, man, like, cause we all deal with
funny,
adversity.
Bro. You are funny.
We all deal with
funny.
adversity.
Who was his quarterback in New York? So maybe he wasn't that happy.
But I just want to know, bro, like,
Not
what
Mark
was it like
Sanchez.
for you dealing with adversity, man? Being a high level athlete, right? Everybody knows your name. Adversity comes your way, man. How did you deal with that? Like, how'd you make sense with it?
Good question.
Man, I think I asked to be in that spotlight when I was in college, when I used to watch the older players. They would come in, with their red uniform, their red sweatsuit, their jumpsuit on, the team issued. And we'd be working out or doing something in the locker room or whatnot, film room, and you see the guys walk by like, why they all dressed up? Where they going at?
Mm-hmm.
So I got curious, freshman, sophomore year, start asking around, asking questions like, why these guys always wearing red suits and they keep going places, they keep leaving out, they leaving out of meetings early, leaving out of practice early. So they started going to do give backs. So they was going to schools, reading to school kids, going to the hospitals, making visits in. So I was like, you know what? I want to do that. I want to go and, cheer some kids on, you know what I'm saying, and really be in that spotlight. So I started volunteering, here and there. Then I started playing, but I wasn't getting interviewed. So I started thinking to myself, like, man, why I'm not getting interviewed? What's going on? Like, I'm not making enough plays in college. Like, I don't know. So when I started getting interviewed, I started realizing that everything had became scrutinized. So I had been asking to be in the spotlight without even knowing that I was already in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So now everything was turned over into a new leaf as I started producing more on television. So now all of these different things are coming out. Oh, Santonio Holmes was there. Oh, he was here. He did this. Oh, we heard about this. Oh, it's like, wait, when was these cameras around here talking about this? When did we talk about that? But it became a thing of, because you're now a feature in other people's eyes, you're now become a target. So now, when I got drafted to Pittsburgh, knowing that you don't transfer teams, you don't leave the NFL teams, you either gonna get cut or you're gonna get traded or you get released. Like that's it. That's the business of it. So we would have meetings every day. Myself, Hines, would come in sometime Monday morning, super early, before the whole team gets in. We would just go through all life skill stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you missing? What are you not doing? What you need? What can I help you with? What can I support? And he said, let me tell you one thing. If you ever get traded from here, if you ever get cut from here, don't never take it personal. It's always business. So when I went into New York, I had a business mindset on it.
Ooh.
I wasn't focused on nobody else but business. How do I make these $50 million look good? Because Pittsburgh didn't pay me $50 million, so I was happy to play football.
Right.
So when I got to the point now I'm playing football for $50 million, everything even more scrutinized now.
Right.
So now I have to be on my P's and Q's with my attitude, with my facial expressions, with understanding, how I carry myself.
Right.
So being able to deal with that was knowing that you are way more scrutinized now than you ever was when you played at Pittsburgh.
Right.
Because now you're in the New York media. So at that point, I was happy.
Right.
I got to ask you about
Happy as hell.
the next year. Is it the following year? We play the Jets in the playoffs? Was that a playoff game, or was that just a...
We played them both twice. We played the Steelers both times that season. That was the season. We played them in the regular season, beat them, came back and lost to them in the playoffs.
You scored, was it a go-ahead touchdown in that game?
The first game.
The first game.
The first game.
What did that feel like, coming back, playing against Pittsburgh? Because that was in Heinz Field, right?
Oh, he loved that.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. That was playing against guys I played with every day in practice. I went to lunch with, dinner with, slept in the same hotel room with these guys, like in the same training room, locker room with these guys. I wanted to kick their ass. I wanted to score on them like 20 times. I literally wanted to score every play we got to football. I was in Sanchez's head all game, like, bro, throw me the football. You got to let me score against these guys.
But when you score that touchdown in a stadium that used to literally, like, go nuts, to be like the guy that's like sticking the dagger in them, like that's a different.
That's a different dynamic.
Feeling,
I ain't gonna
bro.
lie.
Yeah,
That's
but I brought it all the way back to my first celebration when I first scored my first touchdown in Pittsburgh. I turned around and pointed to the back of my jersey. So it wasn't even about the Jet uniform when I scored that touchdown. Y'all remember that name right there? Yeah, y'all remember that guy?
Oh yeah,
that's him. That's the same guy. So then I finished off with my Jet celebration at the end of the day, but that was to let the fans know that I'm still that guy.
Still him.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's ironic you said about staying business and staying professional. I one of my questions that I wanted to ask you is, like, when you weren't getting the ball, or when you might have had a rough stretch in your career, and you see nowadays, like, some of these receivers, it's all televised on them bitching and moaning and complaining, like, kind of almost being like a nuisance to the team. How did you deal with maybe not getting the ball, not getting the targets that you were supposed to get that week? Like, how did you take that mindset and, kind of transform it into the player that you became?
Funny story. All this shit goes back to high school days, preparing like a pro.
Mm-hmm.
I knew from the high school moments that I played that coach said, look, we're going to throw you the ball 4 times today.
4? You need 12 at least.
At least
12 targets at least.
But now I'm only gonna get 4 targets because I got 2 other receivers that need 4 targets each. I got a running back that need at least 2 to 4 targets. I got a tight end that at least need 2 to 4 targets. You really think we can take all of those targets and not put them on this side of the field and win football games? Okay. You're right, Coach. Okay, so what I'm supposed to do? You say when you get these chances, you got to score 1 touchdown. You got to make a big play, and you got to score a touchdown. So my mindset was already predicated as a young high school kid that I'm not going to get the ball thrown to me a lot of times, and I have to understand and respect that. And I know why I'm not getting the ball. So when I got to college, there's very few times I know my quarterback going to throw me more than 5 passes in the football game. And
you were cool with it.
I'm cool with that. So when I got to the NFL, I'm not going in there bitching and moaning, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm only going to get 5 to 6, but I'm only going to bitch when I'm open. I'm not going to come back and tell you I'm open every play because now I understand the game. But if I'm bitching at you every play telling you this because you ain't throwing me the ball.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I had to know that based on how good I was in high school, and it didn't make sense to me, our coaches didn't want our defense on the field every series. He wanted them to get breaks. He wanted them to be ready for the game, you know what I'm saying, at the end. So I got to run the ball 3 times and kick the ball. Coach, I'm the best player. Why we can't just keep throwing it to me so we keep scoring? And then he's like, then you're going to keep putting my defense on the field. Now I can't position our team, you know what I'm saying, on the football field to win the ball game in situational football. So when I got to college, I knew it. When I got to the pros, I accepted it. At the end of the day, I just got to make it happen with whatever I get a chance to make it happen with.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a
mature.
pro business approach. Like
Absolutely.
But in high school, my boy.
That's why he is who he
But
is.
I averaged like 30 yards a catch in high school.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, you was giving crazy work.
So we talk about 2 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Like, that's all I got in the game. I'm cool for the rest of the day. What? I'm in high school. I'm good.
Yeah.
We got Jesse over here. He always got some good questions behind the sticks. Jess, what do you got for
Jesse?
Tony?
So I got 2 for you. Can you end the age-old debate, LSU or OSU? Who's got the better wide receivers?
Let's go. Let's talk about this. I can't wait. Good job,
get
Jesse.
So, okay, do you have a list pulled up for me?
So I know for LSU, they're always talking Odell. Now you got Neighbors.
Jarvis
Landry.
Jarvis.
Don't forget Justin.
Justin
Jamar,
Jefferson. Yeah, so now we're talking about an era that is now transitioning into what LSU football is and was. LSU football has always been about running the football. Ohio State has always been about running the football.
Right.
But we always had a receiver drafted from that football team every year in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So we're talking about back since the early 90s, right? So we really want to talk about what history looked like for wide receivers. I wouldn't even dare sit here and argue about what we're talking about. LSU wide receiver U.
All right. No,
the players that have stepped into football today are fucking phenomenal from LSU at the end of the day. But that history just started, baby.
Okay.
You're not talking about nothing that you can't prove from the early 90s, right?
That's a great answer.
So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I respect them boys, you know what I'm saying, for where they at, but
absolutely.
we put them boys in the NFL, you know what I mean,
Right,
at the end of the day. And now you see where the style of the guys are leading there today. They're like, shit, wide receiver you, I think it's Ohio. Yeah, it's Ohio State. It's always been Ohio State.
Good call. Good call.
He
All
dropped
right,
the
so
mic.
my second one is now, so my father, when I was growing up, he worked at Dick's Sporting Goods in the graphic design division. So he's been designing all of like the Super Bowl stuff for all the teams. And I remember specifically when that catch happened, Reebok and Dick's Sporting Goods had a collaboration for the poster.
Right.
We had like 50 of them at the house, right? We would give them out because it was like a historic play. Now I just want to know, you got like a lifelong deal with Reebok? That was you put them on the map or something like that. Because Reebok and the football cleats, I mean, you know, you got basketball, you got Shaqs and stuff like that. But I'm talking like, I don't know how prominent.
Bro, I wore Reebok cleats my freshman year at Westlake, black and yellow ones. Because
I remember the cleats you had.
For sure.
I ain't gonna lie. Is Reebok still alive?
Yeah, the Reebok's still alive.
Yeah, he got that lifelong
Yeah, did you
contract.
get them? So did you get like? I mean, anything
Nike's
pop up? I'm assuming no, just because that's how business is. But can you speak into that?
No, that's not how businesses work. Well, NFL, Reebok
Definitely
was a part of the NFL for they had they tenure where they did a 10 to 20-year bid with the NFL, where they had the jerseys, cleats, and everything rocking. And then Nike comes back in, and now they don't keep the end of the bargain of the contract, and now they removed themselves from the National Football League. So therefore, now they have no obligations to hold up anything, you know what I'm saying, pertaining to what the NFL once they've cut their contract. So during that time, I just happened to catch Reebok at the back end, you know, when I made that catch before they ended up walking out of the door. But to have that lifelong connection with Reebok is still there.
You still got the cleats?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got the cleats?
Oh, without a doubt.
They in a case somewhere?
Sitting at the crib right now.
Wait,
collecting dust.
You know those game socks are in the equipment room.
Yep.
The socks that he wore in the Super Bowl to catch, they're hanging in the equipment room. I walk by, I'm like, who got the sweaty ass socks up here? They're like, those are Santonio socks from the Super Bowl.
Are they like in a?
No, they're just hanging, literally like on a nail.
I don't think you understand.
hanging,
It's really ratchet in the locker rooms.
It's a football facility.
It's a football facility.
No, that's insane.
That's all we need. Yeah, but his socks are up there.
Dude,
That's
you do
what's up.
something so special that your socks don't get moved for the next 15 years. Like that's
15.
special.
They'll be in that facility for as long as the Steelers are the Steelers. Forever.
Without a doubt.
Forever.
What's crazy is what people don't understand, yo, like, and it's funny, and I mean this as a joke, bro, but I know your feet got to be crazy because, like, most receivers, if you run fast, your feet look like this. So, like, I know your feet probably tripping. But I will say, those socks, they're going to be memorable forever.
Respect.
I just
It's
know,
so
I
funny
know
that
how
I
it
knew
goes.
what he was when he said your feet are probably crazy. Like just because me and Trey talk a lot,
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't saying you have crazy footwork.
Yeah, he was talking about the structure of it.
Nah, they.
Your feet.
He looked like grandma's
yeah, that's
feet.
We have a
serious
foot
business,
cam below the
man.
desk.
From all of the toe slaps, you know what I'm saying, and training and practice in the off season to prepare for those moments, man. Yeah, I got jammed toes up for days, bro.
His feet look, I know they do, bro.
Oh, hey, one thing I know too for sure. Now I do take care of my feet now.
All right, all right.
I do
all
go
right.
Doing
get-
yoga barefoot,
Oh,
so
yeah,
you can't be in there looking
absolutely.
crazy,
Come on
dude.
now.
I'm not gonna lie, I got some claws as feet. It ain't even
Is
on
that a
me.
projection then?
Bro, it's just more so like, you know how the lineman be. I know your feet look crazy because you get stepped on
I
all the
get
time.
stepped on, yeah.
So when your
every
feet
day.
get stepped on by a lineman, let alone anybody, a lineman, linebacker, you can't tell me that ain't one of the
Yeah,
worst pains in
yeah.
the world.
That is.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, I got
bad.
stepped on I got stepped on today. My ankle. I'm like, come on.
Who did it?
I don't know. Someone that was
I
rushing.
thought you had a deal that they owe you money.
No, that's Dirty Red. Dirty Red charges me every time I step on his. Like, bro, we in punt. Like, we're in the trenches.
Oh, he
like,
charges you. That's right.
He charges me. He charges me $25 every time I step on his foot.
Come on, man.
So like, I go into practice. I know if we're punting, like, I'm down $50 because I'm stepping on his foot.
You're
twice.
gonna get them once or twice. A day.
Yeah,
without
easily.
a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's good bullshit.
That's what's up.
It's bullshit. I'm pissed. It's $50. I lose $50 every practice.
Man,
That's a true end.
I
You
ain't
need to
even
put that
gam-
in your next contract.
I'm not even gambling. It's like I'm losing it doing practicing.
You know, we forgot to ask about your foundation.
Yes.
So you have a couple. You have
Then
two.
We'll wrap up here.
You have two.
yep.
Talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, so I started a nonprofit called the Third and Loan Foundation. I had my first son born in 2002, and we named him Santonio the Third. And he's born with sickle cell disease, condition where his blood cells and oxygen level are, not up to par than the normal cells that we carry around people who have normal blood cells. And it's been something that's been near and dear to me. I became an advocate for sickle cell, so I started, doing fundraisers for Sickle Cell Disease Association of America, for St. Jude, for Children's, the UPMC Children's Hospital, Chicago Children's Hospital, and throughout my time, I realized that a lot of families are struggling with sickle cell. They don't have the means and the funds to take care of, things that they have at home, where we take things for granted, where we can go and afford to put $80 into the parking garage, if we want to stay over for a couple hours, overnight. But the family that has sickle cell, they now losing $80 that they have already lost $300 because they didn't make it to work this week because their kid is in the hospital. Now they got a bill that costs $17,000 that they now have to figure out how that's going to be paid for. Right. So one of my goals is to continue raising awareness for sickle cell disease, but also setting the bar to where I'm raising funds to where these families have a place that they can go in a safe place to be able to help alleviate some of those issues. Families that need respirators, They need inhalers. Just medical treatments to be able to pay for your over-the-counter meds, right? Opportunities like that is what, Third and Long Foundation is down to create. So we started a new fund with UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh to raise $125,000 over the next 5 years.
Wow.
And to raise that money, it would be an active fund that will be continuously generating funds into this $125,000 account that we create. And we will give an opportunity for working capital for the families that need it through their situations and things of that nature. And this would be a lifelong fund that will never be tossed away. No one could ever tarnish this fund, and it would be something that will be built until the day we have a strike for sickle cell, which is what the fund is called, Strikes Against Sickle Cell.
That's awesome.
Love that, man.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's one of my nonprofits that I've been dedicated to, and I've toured the world all over, doing mission work,
Right.
Supporting families and people with sickle cell disease. And recently, I started another nonprofit, and it's called the 10 All In Foundation. And 10 All In Foundation is built around STEM education, mental health, and golf. There's not a lot of minority kids who get involved in the game of golf.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to now go into these communities to be able to educate these kids on the importance of picking up a golf club, playing golf, learning what the system is built for, and learning how you can survive by using golf as a toolkit for yourself. But in the midst of that, we educate them on mental health aspects that you encompass with being in these kind of unfamiliar surroundings.
Right.
So our goal is to teach them social and emotional learning skills so that they're now equipped with these skill sets that's going to allow them to understand and adapt to any situation and circumstances that they're in when they feel pressure, when they feel anxiety, when they feel some type of depression, when they can recognize that empathy is happening with one of their mates that they're playing, golf with. So we educate them on what this importance look like throughout real life.
Right.
And we've been established since 2020. We started during COVID. So we're going into year 5. Just August, we just started year 5. And we host summer camps back in the state of Florida for our kids in our community where we grew up. And my goal is to educate them and help them earn scholarships to get inside and play golf. We have partners such as Pratt & Whitney, who's an engineering-based company that makes fighter engines and jets for the jets that we actually fly on. And they're actually my partner for the 10 All In Foundation.
Crazy.
And throughout the midst of having that kind of partnership, I was able to meet this individual on a golf course. So it kind of further brought around full circle, our mission to educate kids on STEM education and how to take science, technology, engineering, and math and utilize it in the game of golf, but you don't have to be the professional golfer to do that. You can be the videographer. Mm-hmm. You can be the person that's the groundskeeper. You can be the person that is actually building the golf course, the architecture. So there's so many different ways to take STEM education and utilize it in the game of golf. And we want to make it accessible for all minority kids to get involved in the game of golf. So our 10 All In logo, if you take a close look at it, you will see within the all, the A, there are 2 hands. There's one big hand and then there's a small hand right in the middle of it. And that's the big hand as an adult helping these young kids. That's the black hand and the white hand. That's the orange hand and the blue hand. That's the red hand and the black hand, helping each other hand in hand. And that's where we came up with the name and the concept for 10 All In.
Smooth, man. That's real smooth.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we'll put the links below in the description too if anybody wants to donate or be a part of it in any way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that.
And then that
Yes,
guy
sir.
over there has a really good golf swing. We call him Swing for a reason. But
Sweet. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get some of these young kids on these golf course, man, and take them out, man. We
need
should
to.
take the podcast to the golf course one day.
I'm
should.
gonna sit on the side. I'm gonna drive the golf cart for you.
No, we can just go to the driving range. We can invite some kids that want to come out and play. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We teach them. We get some, just have some little fun. You know what I mean? Just a fun day out.
You
know
gonna
what I mean?
teach me?
Oh, without a doubt.
All right, my
No
dog,
doubt.
my dog,
No
my
doubt.
dog.
He got some good tips. He knows what he's doing out there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he got to give me a couple strokes aside. That's for damn sure. We're playing.
I've been working on my handicap. I'm down to a 12 right now, so I'm trying to get it low.
You're lower than a 12.
I ain't been playing as much as I need to. So
Oh,
the
you
handicap goes up when you don't
Nah,
play.
I know
You know,
Florida
the
guys
handicap
just
goes
lie.
up when you don't play.
He says 12, and then he goes to Punta Cana and shot like a 78.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm like, come on, bro, that ain't a 12. What are you doing?
Look, see, that was that Florida stuff. I knew he was lying.
Shit, well, Tone,
These
I
guys.
appreciate you coming in today. Man, he's more than a football player. He's a Pittsburgh legend. This wraps up Season 1, Episode 14 with Santonio freaking Holmes. Crazy. Tune
Yes,
in,
sir.
like, share, subscribe, repost. And we'll catch you next time.
You guys,
Bang!